Okay, so actually I will split my presentation in two parts. The first part, I will give you entry point to the lunar panoramas we developed. It was our contribution to this project, and this is panoramas for Lunokhod 1 and Lunokhod 2 ancient Soviet missions, and that's a kind of ready system, legacy system. And in the second part, I will show some more recent developments which took course during the project, and they may be useful for you to share these ideas. So, as you see, here is a Migaic Java portal. It's a traditional JS tool devoted to the planetary data. So here you have planet body selection in the top left, and the top right have selection of language, and 4 panels. Left panels gives you on the top product layers which are available for public, and bottom part gives you a background raster imagery which is used in map representation to represent the background. And this part gives you a table view for products, and the right panel is used for previewing and downloading of all the products. So here we're, well, currently we have beside moon, we have Phobos, Mercury, but now during PRoViDE mission, we will concentrate on the moon. So what we have here for background. Okay, all panels are switchable, so to get more place. For context, we used WAC mosaic. It's 100 meter per pixel. So, but this obviously not has enough resolution to recover the tracks, to recover the of Lunokhod, and for that we could use more context. That's for this we will take Kaguya and also arrow NAC images. So these are location of the product. That's a site for Lunokhod 1. That's a site for Lunokhod 2. All the products are selectable, so you could select them, and also see in preview, and you could show this raster, put this to the map to give you more detailed context, and it added to the list of layers over which are drawn from bottom to top in that order. But I think that for Lunokhod we will be better to do with NAC, because I will switch this off, and for we have okay to get to context for site for Lunokhod 1. That's it, and switch. And Lunokhod 2 also. Well, now going to the data itself. So we recovered the tracks for rovers. That's for Lunokhod 1 and Lunokhod 2. During the track recovery, we didn't use, unfortunately, super resolution technique, which I think could give us maybe more precision, but it was made just manually, and so we used the resolution which we currently had. The best resolution was NAC, and so that's a track for Lunokhod 1. It's a split into parts during for lunar days, for each days which on the surface. So split it. On the right you have shape for downloading the data, So, and for Lunakhod 2 also. So that's it. And we could go to the level of, see if we switch off the track, you can see the where on neck image the rover was actually his route. That's why this was called, it was called as such. So also data in tabular form. Okay, that's the tracks. Now let's go to the panoramas themselves. So actually there are several levels of processing. The most close to original one, which was, well, the panoramas was restored from analogous images and with practically no metadata. We have no calibrated digital cameras, we have no, and for Lunakhod 2, we don't even have the date when the pictures were taken. Actually, for some part, yes, and for unfortunately, that's
it was not unusual.
We have to deal with it. So, and the panoramas were assembled from just raw scans from image fragments. And the first level of restoration, here it presented as panoramas no project. So I will now turn it off, on, and we'll see. So that's where these fragments were just stitched together, and so you see some sort of original. You see there were in spheric projection, so you see lots of artifacts, but that's technology of even 45 years ago. Will be in the very soon we'll be celebrating. So that's panoramic no projection. It's all available for download. So you could see that in the original resolution. So not too much. It was 500 pixels, the height of original panoramas. Well, that's it. Well, what we did, we also processed them. Initially, align that spherical projection with horizon, then made central transformation, transformation to cylindrical projection, then to central. And finally, for some part of the images, we also took a vertical view, so that's not quite, we couldn't call that auto transformation, but something look like, because of not knowing exact position of the inclination of the method. So if we took the same, you could see the transformation initially aligned with horizon, then transferred to cylindrical projection, and make a central projection also. So that's just some very basic tool, which is based on legacy technologies, but it's working. It gives you a point of reference to access this data at their old, so they're accessible. You could download, play with them. And but during the course of the project, when we see the work which was done by our colleagues, we understand that this system is sort of outdated, and we need something new. to develop and to in recent time very big advancements were made in browser technology, in parallel processing, in the cloud processing, and so when developing the new tool, we would like to take into account that, to develop on them, and to try to provide some sort of environment which will be useful, well, indicate which will be after that. And now I'm finished with that and going to the second part of my small presentation. And for this I will so close that. So basically it's the same portal, but it's not the same. Because the picture is a picture. First, we made several architectural decisions when regarding our future development. First of all, we decided to make it cross-platform, to be available, and we treat web browser as just a kind of just another platform. So we have no separation between desktop, web browser, mobile platform. So that's actually all the development was 3 unification, oh, maybe 4. So we have unification of platforms, we have unification of approach to the graphics. So we use GPU-based acceleration for all platforms. We have for the same graphic resolution and for 3D and for 2D mode and for general map also. So you see that's the same kind of data in general. Now back to 3D. So that's what was the second unification of the graphic approach. And the third unification, which was made, it was unification of networking. And it was the most hard thing to do, because all the infrastructure which we have now largely based on the legacy stack, web stack of technology, that's HTTP and all the standards which we have to deal with are largely developed upon that stack. And recently, very many advanced have been made, and that's the new protocols have been developed. So by these protocols, I will refer as WebRTC. That's real-time communication between the browsers. That's WebSocket. And also within the system, we also use the standard TCP approach. Also, so the communication layer is isolated. It's a layer of abstraction, and it was the most difficult thing to do. But now we have this working, well, not called, let's call it prototype, but we could build upon it. And having that allows us to do something very interesting applications of that. And I will show you one of such applications could be a collaboration thing, which will something that I'm going to show you. And actually, I'm going to do what I would call a conversation with myself, so one person. And actually, I had already started some broadcast. Oh, we have here teleconference about the teleconferencing. So if you remember the stuff which is already watching us on the Adobe Connect, so that's second layer. Anyway, I just start another broadcast. For example, we'll give my name. And now select the first one camera. And so you see. And now I'm just navigating my working field or presentation field. It depends on which tools are built upon that platform. So actually, it's now rather bare. It's has not much tooling developed above, not yet, but it has potential in that field. And well, let's go to some other. And see, oh, I've okay, my presentation. Let's put another name. And for this, I will take the camera from this one. So, and some took some time to establish, but you see the real-time communication. But to do this more, well, to show you side-by-side view, well, for this, I will now switch it off. And you see, oh, I'm now out of sync. So I'm just doing telecom, but not much has been done. It's not an unusual thing. We have a lot of telecom solutions now. We have Mozilla, we have Adobe Connect, but what makes it somewhat of unique? Because what I'm translating, it's not a picture, it's not a static content. It's a structured context which is aligned with the subject which I'm translating. So I'm translating layers, I'm translating features, I'm translating. So, and this context which I'm translating is live. That means that if another people on another part of the wire could anytime not just show, but stop and do his own investigation, see more details, how he's like or not. Make some exploration, some question, and after he is done, could go back and go with presentation after that. So how could that be used? It could be used for lecturing. It could be used for conferencing. It could be used for real-time collaboration and a lot of things. It's just a platform which needs to be built upon. So, for example, now I could translate context to that person. You see, that person is translating. Let's do this and put it the other side. So, and you see, it's all happening within the browser. But as I said earlier, the browser was just one of the platforms developed. So we have a native resolution, native applications. And why we still need native? Because within browser, when we run the things, you are given a security context. If you can't just put, if you want to work with your local data, you need native application. But this native application should be should know how to communicate with the browser. So, and think also about mobile users and so. Okay, basically I'm done. If you have questions, please.
Questions, please.
So that's just barebone. Yeah.
Just how much of the original panoramas of the Ludno codes have been recovered and how much have been lost forever?
Well, I can't say how much we lost. We have recovered about 230. for Lunar-Hot 1, and at about 880.
Panoramas, but we lost metadata. We recover
Where
about 300 panoramas. One, but for Hot 1, about yes, 180 and about 100 for Hot 2.
A little less than 100 for Lunar-Hot 2 and more than 200 for Lunar-Hot 1. That's it.
Are there also other products like normal features or stereo features?
With regard to stereo, there were attempts to recover stereo, but the stereo was available only for landing site when the rover was outside and taking pictures of this of the landing module. And for that area, 3D was available, and I think it was already shown somewhere here during the course of the project. But actually, it's not here on the. But with regard to the panoramas which were taken during the route of the Lunar-Hot, no much stereo. That's because the panorama they took one side and the other side. They developing.
I have a question about this is an HTML5 application.
HTML5 is just one of the target for the applications. It could be a native application, it could be an Android application, it could be iOS application, or what you need.
Okay. The WebGIS that you were building before was OGC compliant.
Yes.
So what does it mean in terms of the new direction you're going in?
Yes.
With regard to
standard, well, with regard to standard and OGC, I think they, unfortunately, they're committee-based. They're a little bit slow in adopting the new trends of which are going. But if we go distributed, and during the last month we also made some experiments moving to the cloud, so making even more make it scalable to the large part. We need to send chunks of the data for processing for forever, and OGC approach. You should make when you describe data, you should take it the whole. You just cannot split your data and then to recover it back. You have to think some sort of standard for, let's say, which is for distributed system, which could easily can split your system, split your data, and then gather it back. For that, OGC at current stage is not good, and so
pyramids would work for that.
Pyramids are good for raster, yeah, but for vector, when we split, if we have large vector, we split it, so and we destroy the graphic primitive. So then if we have to reassemble it after that, we have to put additional information to be able to recover the data back. So that's just one aspect of it. But at current stage, OGC is lagging behind. But we understand that we need to provide compatibility. So and this compatibility should be provided at the boundary of the system. So at some sort of a gate. So not OGC within the system, within the distributed processing, but on the boundary for getting the data into the system. Yes, we could provide. And the other way around.
So this is getting a cultural decision or ideological decision, and perhaps we should discuss it after after the event. But it's an issue, definitely, to which standards. It's getting a war of standards.
Yes, I think that they shall have to address this somehow, because we have no new ideas. All ideas are in the air. So some adopted earlier some adopted, but they have come to some sort of some that should be sorted out somehow, and they should address that. But I don't know why, when they will do it and how.
Right. Thanks, Andrey.